In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro dives deep into the Epstein files and the political theater unfolding around them, questioning whether there's any real there, or if this is just another calculated distraction in the endless saga of partisan warfare. The catalyst for the renewed flood of Epstein documents was a discharge petition in the House aimed at forcing a broad public release of files related to Epstein. Signed by a coalition of Democrats and a handful of Republicans, including vocal critics of Trump like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, the petition was intended to paint Trump as enmeshed in illicit dealings with Epstein. However, the initial Democratic release included just 3 selectively redacted emails crafted to insinuate Trump's guilt by omission. In response, Republican members countered by releasing 20,000 emails, many containing mundane or exculpatory information that deflates the major conspiracy theories. Why this back and forth? Shapiro suggests that the Democrats' gambit was not about genuine transparency, but about chumming the waters to revive interest in Epstein and cast a shadow over Trump's presidency. The irony is thick, as the Trump administration argues that most damaging material has already been made public and that courts have blocked further releases to protect victims' privacy. So why the insistence on prying open these files again? Is it pursuit of truth or a political scorched earth tactic? Taking the released emails at face value initially suggests something nefarious, but the devil is in the context and redactions. The first email, sent by Epstein to his lawyer in 2011, cryptically references Trump without supporting evidence of wrongdoing. The supposed victim mentioned is Virginia Giuffre, a figure known for instability and whose own sworn testimony exonerated Trump from allegations of sexual misconduct. The Democrats' redaction of her name and label of victim served more to fuel conspiracy than clarify facts. Another email exchanged between Epstein and Michael Wolff, himself a controversial figure accused of PR for Epstein, suggests Trump had knowledge of Epstein's misconduct, but also demonstrates Trump taking steps to sever ties, like asking Epstein to leave his Mar-a-Lago club. Nor do the emails from 2015 between Epstein and Wolff offer anything concrete, merely speculating on Trump's potential responses during media scrutiny. In contrast, the Republicans' release trove includes emails with embarrassing tidbits, but no criminal revelations about Trump. For example, mentions of photos involving Trump and adult women in swimsuits or discussions about Trump's fixer are hardly the smoking gun the opposition seeks. Even the whispers of Trump's involvement in catch-and-kill stories relating to Stormy Daniels have long been public knowledge. So, is this a serious scandal or just recycled innuendo? Shapiro challenges listeners to ask, where is the evidence? Can speculation replace proof? The answer seems clear. It cannot. What's particularly revealing is the confluence of interests behind the Epstein file release campaign. Beyond Democrats keen on undermining Trump, some Republicans appear eager to distance themselves from him, possibly eyeing the 2028 presidential race. Figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie have used the Epstein dossier as a cudgel not just against Democrats, but also against the president. This cross-party effort begs the question, whose agenda does this serve? Shapiro notes that some of these critics level the same accusations as Democrats, that Trump must be hiding something because he resists full document disclosure. Yet their true motivation seems rooted less in justice and more in political point scoring. Is there a genuine appetite for uncovering truth or just opportunism? Adding to the political drama, the Trump administration held a White House meeting involving Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Christopher Wray, and Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to dissuade her from further pushing the discharge petition. While the administration touts this transparency as a virtue, the optics suggest a tension between open government and damage control. Despite the fanfare, legal experts and investigative journalists like Michael Tracy remind us that the discharge petition won't necessarily unlock any new explosive Epstein documents. Privacy concerns for victims, judicial seals protecting grand jury materials, and national security claims mean that much will remain sealed, irrespective of congressional votes. So, is this petition more symbolic than substantive? Does it risk raising expectations for revelations that will never come? It appears to be an attempt for certain members of Congress to claim the mantle of fearless transparency, while the fog of Washington bureaucratic procedures and privacy rights form impenetrable barriers. In the end, the petition might be little more than political theater, with no real change in public knowledge. Shapiro shifts focus to the recently ended government shutdown, which lasted a record-breaking 43 days. Fueled by Democratic demands to extend healthcare subsidies and Republican resistance, it ultimately ended with a continuing resolution funding government operations through January 30th. The shutdown had little impact on policy, but inflicted real economic uncertainty. Democrats' criticism of ending the shutdown appears to be more about posturing than practical governance. Meanwhile, Trump's economic approval ratings are steadily declining, driven largely by concerns over affordability and inflation. The administration is now pivoting its messaging towards affordability, a recognition that voters' wallets are under pressure. But will policy proposals like tariff rebates or 50-year mortgages genuinely alleviate economic strain, or are they just quick fixes that skirt deeper structural issues? Shapiro breaks down the pitfalls of some policy ideas, like mortgage portability, exposing the logistical and financial challenges that make them unviable solutions. Importantly, he reminds listeners that real affordability arises from increasing supply, not government meddling that often disrupts markets in unintended ways. On the investment front, despite historically high stock market levels fueled by AI industry optimism, there's growing anxiety. AI companies require massive ongoing investments and face uncertain returns over years to come. This uncertainty has triggered volatility in major tech stocks, reflecting unease about the sustainability of current gains. Does this mean we're at an AI bubble's precipice, or simply experiencing the normal gyrations of transformative innovation? The episode also touches on the shifting political landscape in cities like Seattle, where a self-described socialist may soon become mayor, promising policies that could further challenge local economies. In broader culture, Michelle Obama's latest book ventures into the terrain of fashion as a form of soft political power, illustrating how image and identity politics continue to shape public narrative, even among elite figures.